Good morning and welcome to this morning's Trending. Trending is brought to you today in association with Iconic Coffee. Head over to shop.iconic.com, use the code TRENDING for 10% off. 3 bosses at Lucy Letby's hospital arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. This is unfolding to be something far bigger, and I think many of us here believe there's much more to this, and that Lucy Letby, if she's not actually criminally involved, which she may well be still, is part of something much wider. So 3 bosses at the hospital where Lucy Letby worked have been arrested on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter, the police have said. The 3 who have not been named were arrested on Monday as part of the investigation into the actions of leaders at the Countess of Chester Hospital. Letby, 35, is serving 15 whole life prison terms after being convicted of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 7 others in the year June and 2016. The 7 number there, pop my tinfoil hat on, is important. It could be a Kabbalistic thing, just putting it out there, just to keep it in our back of our mind. Might be nothing, but 7 is something they often drop into these stories and narratives, and the 2 sevens there could be the fact that it's nodding a wink to something much bigger. There clearly is something much bigger here going on. The former neonatal nurse is seeking to overturn her convictions at the Criminal Case Review Commission, having lost 2 legal challenges at the Court of Appeal. Now, you would have thought she would have been able to appeal. I thought that was just a standard right to appeal your convictions. Are they afraid of something else coming out? Well, it clearly looks like there is much more to this story. So Deputy Superintendent Paul Hughes of Cheshire Constabulary said on Tuesday in October 2023, following the lengthy trial and subsequent conviction of Lucy Letby, Cheshire Constabulary launched an investigation into corporate manslaughter at the Countess of Chester Hospital. This focuses on senior leadership and their decision-making to determine whether any criminality has taken place concerning the response to the increased levels of fatalities. In March 2025, the scope of the investigation widened to also include gross negligence manslaughter. Now, this is the important part, and it doesn't really make sense, does it? This is a separate offence to corporate manslaughter and focuses on the grossly neglected actions of or inactions of the individuals. It's important to know that this does not impact on the convictions of Lucy Letby for multiple offences of murder and attempted murder. How can it not impact that? It has to impact that. Of course it's connected. It's literally part of the incident. How did she get away if she did do these things? If she is guilty of murdering these 7 babies and attempting to murder 7 others, how did she get away with it? How was she able to avoid detection for that long? It's absurd to think that she would be the only person. There's cameras everywhere, emails, conversations being recorded. In terms of just walking around the hospital, in terms of cameras recording things, doctors talking to each other. How was she able to get away with this for so long? So of course it's connected. To say it isn't is utterly absurd. But they're trying to spin that narrative in the mainstream media at least. So that's one to keep an eye on. That's obviously getting bigger and bigger. Personally, my personal feel is that this is far bigger than what we're being led to believe. What that will be, only time will tell. But this is obviously a far bigger, I hate to say it, but conspiracy than one person murdering these poor children. There's something being covered up here. And it brings back kind of feelings of the Madeleine McCann situation with the doctors involved and the medical industry being involved. There's something bigger, I believe, here that may come out in the future because this is unfolding still. So try not to laugh because this is a sad one, but it's also slightly humorous. Bless him. I was scammed out of hundreds of pounds by an AI deep fake Jennifer Aniston, who told me she loved me. Now, I don't know why you would pick an actress from Friends, but let's go into this. A British man has revealed how he was cruelly conned out of £200 by what he believed was a heartfelt message from Friends icon, Jennifer Aniston. Now, you would have thought, you'd go, okay, this doesn't seem real. Put that to the side. Why does Jennifer need 200 quid? She's been in quite a few Hollywood films, thus being probably a multi-millionaire. Why does she need 200 quid? What sort of hard times has she fallen on since Friends stopped? Paul Davis, 43, from Southampton, fell victim to a disturbing new wave of artificial intelligence scams. And this is the issue, is the use of the artificial intelligence. After being bombarded with messages from deepfake celebrity accounts on social media. So he didn't just get Jennifer Aniston, he got a whole gaggle of fake celebrities. The unemployed man who suffers from depression, bless him, not surprised after this, said he was relentlessly targeted by AI-generated videos, including one that appeared to feature, now, again, why would these people need 200 quid? Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, not together. That would have given the game away, wouldn't it? And even the beloved sitcom star, Aniston herself. So you would go, hang on a minute, Zuckerberg, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm on Facebook, where I'm getting these AI things from. You own this platform, allegedly. Or if it happens on X, Musk, you allegedly own this platform. Why do you need 200 quid from me? I'm depressed and I'm unemployed. I mean, that's reaching, isn't it? You go for someone like your Aunt Margaret down the road and try and copy it in, bless his heart. In one particular cruel twist, David was sent an image of what looked like Jennifer Aniston's driving licence. And the picture on it is from way back, before she told him she loved him. That's really quite sad, isn't it? If Mark Zuckerberg, the fake Mark Zuckerberg, would have told him, I love you, you'd have been like, keep your 200 quid, mate. Elon, since he had the hair plugs, maybe. He said, I've got fake videos from Jennifer Aniston asking me for £200 and saying she loves me. Bless his heart. Tragically, Paul believed the message was real and sent the money in the form of a non-refundable Apple gift cards. So not only that, Apple have got some money out of it as well. The scam is part of a growing online menace where advanced AI technology is used to create terrifyingly convincing fake videos of celebrities. And we've all seen this. Right now, you can slightly tell. I mean, if Jennifer Aniston is telling you she loves you, you could probably tell anyway. But you can tell that they're fake. It's not quite there yet, but it isn't far off at all. And that's just in the public domain. What's going on in the underground bases and the dumbs, what they actually have is going to be far, far superior to this. So, you know, it's something we're going to have to keep looking out for, but bless his heart. I mean, we've got a screenshot here of their chat. I'm not quite sure. That looks like a WhatsApp chat, but I'm not sure. So she says, what time will you send it to me, my love? She's desperate for the 200 quid by then. Are you there, my love? My subscription is about to expire. She's put expired. Maybe she was just stressed. Can you send me the £100 Apple card to purchase, my love? And then he says, I will later buy. Okay, which time, my love? 8ish, he says, not wanting to, commit. What is your time now? So obviously a different time zone. She got that bit right. It's really sad, bless him. I don't know how you get away with that. It's the absurdity of the person that they've taken on, Jennifer Aniston. You would have thought you'd go for someone, who's probably hard on their times a little bit. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that's used to be famous but's not. And so Paul said he'd been receiving dozens of messages every day whilst with scammers trying to fool him into thinking he's won a special prize, from a cash windfall to a luxury Range Rover. Some of the videos even feature AI-generated versions of Facebook creator Zuckerberg, declaring, "This is not a scam, believe me." That's what you say, isn't it? Trust me, this is not a scam. If I come up to your house and say, this is not a scam, but would you like to give me £50 a week? I'll put it into a local lottery. But it's not a scam. The mere bringing up of that being a scam is a red flag, isn't it? This is not a scam. It's the first thing you say. If you watch the videos, it's clearly the eyes are it's bless his heart.
Hello, dear winner Paul Davis. I know you might be surprised, nah. I don't actually make videos to winners, but it's okay. This is not a scam, believe me. I just don't want you to miss out this privilege because I know how useful the cash is to you and your family. I'm a man of God with God-fearing heart. I can never cheat on another person's sweat. But trust me, the word of God says many sorrows shall be to the wicked. But he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. Psalm 30:10, you will give a testimony by the time you receive your winning Range Rover and your cash. And also I want to assure you that our conversations are completely secure and trustworthy. You're communicating directly with me, the genuine person, not an impersonator. My duty is to assist you, and I require your trust and cooperation.
So Paul explained it's been going on for about 5 months. No wonder he's depressed. I thought people would get into trouble for this, but these people seem to be having a laugh and getting away with it. Not Mark Zuckerberg. He's not the real one doing it, obviously. He also revealed that he's not the only one being targeted. Someone I know has spent over $1,000 on Apple cards for scammers. He's got a mate who's doing it too. Bless him. Yet the AI technology is something that we all really need to keep an eye on. It's something that's going to the side right now in terms of how it contributes to these overall agenda, which is huge. It's massive. The whole Stargate project in the US, the building of these hubs to house the power for AI, how that's going to control the power. It can act as a kind of off-trip switch to certain cities. There's so much more going on there, but bless his heart. That doesn't get any less weird. And I've tried not to make this a bit what-affy today, but it's very hard when the two worlds blend into one. Trump has got a fragrance out. GetTrumpFragrances.com. This is not an advert for it. Believe me. Believe me. President Trump's official fragrances. For patriots who never back down, like President Trump, this scent is your rallying cry in a bottle, featuring Trump's iconic image, picture of him, and raised fist. Or this limited edition cologne. They always say limited edition. Got to get it now. It's limited because no one wanted it. The limited edition cologne embodies strength, power, and victory. It's funny how cologne is very close to colon, isn't it? Have a look at this video. See what you think.
Fragrances are here. They make a great Christmas present. I've named them Fight, Fight, Fight because they represent winning. We all want to be winning. We have to win as a nation. We want to win as a family. This fragrance is all about strength and success and confidence for men and for women. Get yourself a bottle and don't forget to grab one for your loved ones too. They'll thank you and they'll even smell good. Enjoy, have fun, keep on winning, and Merry Christmas.
There you go. So at only $199 per bottle, you can get some for your missus if you want to smell like Trump. You missed a marketing thing there with your name there, Donald. Although it's Drumpf anyway, so that wouldn't have worked. Cologne, Trump for men. Trump for men. $199. Victory, $47. Trump perfume for women. And I mean, that's $249. $249 for Victory, 47 as well. It's 45 to 47. Obviously, he was the 45th president and the 47th president. And when you actually add those numbers together, in terms of the 4 and the 5, which is 9, and the 4 and the 7, which is 11, it makes you the 9/11 president, doesn't it? The sigil of Saturn. IXXI Roman numerals is the sigil of Saturn. See, we had the Twin Towers, Yachin and Boaz, going down on 9/11, as they were supposed to, because they represented Solomon's Temple Freemasonic Twin Towers. And Building 7, there's the 7 again, the Salomon Building, Salomon Brothers, or the Solomon Brothers. It's all in there. They use it all of this symbology. So it's worth knowing that symbology, but you can get yourself some for $249. And that's a bargain if you want to smell of Trump. Smell of Trump. So there you go. You can also unlock exclusive VIP access. I don't know what that's to. I dread to think what he's trying to flog now. So that bemused me. This is where we are now. As if he needs any more money. But there you go. You can get some of that in your stocking for Christmas. So the up-to-date on the P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs court case. Sean Diddy Combs holds head in his hand as jury reaches a partial verdict. Jurors in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs have reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 accounts against him. But the hip-hop mogul will have to wait to learn his fate. Rhymes. Intense scenes towards the end of the court day on Tuesday, jurors sent a note to say they had reached a verdict on 2 accounts of sex trafficking and 2 charges of transportation for prostitution, but had been unable to reach a unanimous decision on the charge of racketeering conspiracy. Now, by that, it kind of implies that he was found guilty, but doesn't say that at all. He says they've reached a verdict, but he doesn't know what the verdict is. Now he's going to have to wait for the verdict on the first 2 accounts, or the first 3 accounts. And the 4th one, they're still undecided on. Combs' lawyer surrounded him at the defence table after the note was sent to the court. And at one point, he held his head in his hands. And this is another case of him. It's a Jeffrey Epstein, isn't it? They are trafficking women, but where to? Who to? Where are they going? What is he part of? This bigger network that they're all talking about. But they can then just keep it close to them. This Epstein list that could well be hidden in his DNA because George Church, who he funded, came up with the technology to do that. Who are they trafficking these women to? And you've got to also connect the island of St. Bart's, which P. Diddy was doing apparently some of this stuff on. Same with the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was said to doing something similar as well. And Jeffrey Epstein likes St. Bart's all around these Caribbean islands. There's something going on there. I don't believe it's above level. And I don't mean in a criminal way. I believe it's below the surface. That's exactly what it is. So that's one to keep an eye on. But where are these women get trafficked to? Juliet Bryant, who's an Epstein survivor, says she never saw any other women. It was purely for Epstein's personal depraved use. So if they're trafficking people and women to other people, there has to be a wider network going on here. And I would say the similar thing in the Lucy Letby case. There's a wider network here that's in play. And these people are just not the fall guys because they're involved. In Lucy Letby's case, I'm not entirely convinced. But P. Diddy's case, he's been seen as abusing women. He's been shown to be a nasty piece of work. And these rumours of these freak-offs have been around for a very long time. So that's nothing new. But that's how they get compromise on people. It seems that Diddy was doing the same thing that Epstein was doing in the modelling world for women. The Abercrombie and Fitch guy was doing it in the modelling world for men. But where were they getting all these things from? Where are they using these people to get blackmail on other people? Well, where are all these files? This is a much bigger network. And the island of St. Bart's, St. Thomas, Little St. James, which is Epstein's island, the Virgin Islands, that sort of area, the Caribbeans have a massive thing to play in this. And there's much more going on here. Are they harvesting eggs from the women, obviously? Are they using the sperm from the men to use in combination with the harvested eggs and then using these children for something else? It gets very dark when you look into it. There's something more going on here. And I believe it has something to do with transhumanism. And they don't mind you looking into little things like this. He'll do a few years probably in prison if he's found guilty on these things, on some of the things. And then that program, the real program behind it all, that shows its head when you do the research into this transhumanist agenda, that'll carry on. And these are just agendas, a technological version in our modern day of old ritualistic sacrifices to achieve the same ends. Just the nature of the ritual has changed. So the jury has testimony from more than 30 witnesses to consider, including Combs' former long-term partner Cassandra Cassie Ventura and another former girlfriend called Jane, who testified under a pseudonym to protect her identity. Prosecutors allege the 55-year-old rapper used his fame and power to force Cassie and Jane into drug-fueled sex sessions with male sex workers who were referred to as freak-offs, wild king nights or hotel nights. Now, there are apparently, allegedly, text messages from these women and other women involved in it saying that they enjoyed the parties and stuff. So there's another side to this as well that they've been using in their defence, Diddy and his lawyers. He was also physically violent and blackmailed them with footage. Well, we've seen him do that. So the guy's reprehensible anyway. So I think he's looking up to about 15 years in prison if he's convicted of all 4 of these charges. But 3 of them so far have been decided upon. One of them still isn't. So before reaching the verdict on the 4 counts, they've requested to review crucial testimony from Cassie about her account of an assault in a hotel in Los Angeles in 2016. Captured on CCTV, the footage was played in court several times and it's absolutely horrific, showing Combs wearing only a towel and socks, beating, kicking and dragging Cassie into a hallway. And in a way, I mean, he should be in prison for that alone, obviously. His defence team admitted in their opening statement that this was domestic violence, and said the music star regretted these actions. But they did not amount to any of the federal charges against him, which is true, but still should be in prison just for that. As well as Cassie's evidence on the assault, they asked to see her testimony on an incident at the Cannes Film Festival in 2013 when she said Combs accused her of taking drugs from him and kicked her off his yacht. Again, these yacht parties at St. Bart's and James, all of these islands, there's something going on there. You've got to look into this, and it's not going to be happening on the surface. I do believe this has something to do with transhumanism. As absurd as that sounds. Combs could face 15 years to life in prison if he is convicted of all charges. So yeah, it's a big one for him. But what has he got over other people as well? We will wait to see on that one, and hopefully hear something more this week. But this is a much, much bigger conspiracy than just these guys, as the Epstein thing was. Deeply involved with transhumanism, George Church, and all of these guys looking into the future of humanity and seeding a new race. These people are part of what I would term a global cult that are trying to bring in a new world order, or Olam Habal, whatever you want to call it. And they need a new type of person. They are experimenting on them. So are they experimenting on some of these babies being born from these trafficking incidents? It's worth considering, especially if it's true. So on that lovely note, today's show has been brought to you in association with Iconic Coffee. Head over to shop.iconic.com and use the code trending for 10% off. And we will see you later on today for some trending in the afternoon and tomorrow morning. Take care. Goodbye.